Alright, y'all. So, I couldn't sleep last night, so I stayed up till 2 a.m. my time. And I didn't want to put these videos in Messenger at 3 a.m. your time, and y'all thinking that something's actually wrong with me. So, I'm just gonna post them today. So, I've definitely played like everyone with this deck before, but the fun part is I'm actually switching the commander. I'll show who the new commander is as I get there. But yeah, Danitha. So, non-basic lands, pretty simple, have some amount to do with artifacts. Ink Moth is a cool alternative when con, quote, cool. Just like 1 or 2 man lands. A fair amount of land hate because like Maze of Ith, and then also like white can't really compete with like explosive Nykthos plays, and I need to keep the tempo in check. So we have 4 land hate lands, Blast Zone for mass removal, Rogue's Passage for obvious reasons, Ancient Den. I think I have like 1 Metalcraft effect if I'm not mistaken. Path because Human Knight. Reliquary, not really necessary, but like you can. In the instances where you go like Pure Steel Paladin plus SRAM, you want to value that card advantage in white, so like there's really no benefit to me discarding in this deck, not really, so I want to keep it. Step just for cycle, Flagstones because you'll see later, and then a bunch of planes. I think it's like 35 lands, I want to say, maybe 34. And then for ramp, Soul Ring, Mana Vault, Mox Opal because artifacts, and many of them. Wayfarer's Bauble, I know, like I never played with artifacts before. Mindstone Cycles, Marble Diamond, Worn Power Stone. Even if I had the white medallion that cheapens white spells, I don't even think I'd play it since it's so colorless heavy, this deck. Thran Dynamo. I'm not like too crazy for ramp in this deck. I only have 8 like pretty generic commander ramp spells. And then we have equipment-oriented creatures. So obviously Pure Steel Paladin, SRAM, Stoneforge Mystic, Relic Seeker. I'm like, truth be told, I think this deck is maybe like 2 or 3 cards over right now, but I like having some of the lesser powerful cards in here just for like flavor. So Auriok Steel Shaper, it's not really like necessary. These are really good in like casual decks when you're playing 4 of them. But pretty cool card. This one I just found like in a box of like my common shit. I think it was like when we were playing at Sid's house before I moved to Memphis. So I must have packed this that day that I got a box. So it's like kind of perfect for this deck. Acclaimed Contender, same bit. It finds an equipment. It also finds knights, and I think I have like maybe 1 aura. I'm not really sure. This is like one of those cards you can kind of do without it, but at some point I guess I must have traded into a foil, so might as well play it. And I have like, when I get like the new like crazy Batterskull card that's indestructible, it'll be nice to have this. So Weatherlight finds historic, so legendary creatures. Yeah, Balan. I think I'm gonna just run Balan as the commander moving forward for a little while. Danitha is cool because she has all these keywords. And like I guess you could play with a little bit more life gain when you have Danitha and play Aetherflux Reservoir as like no one expecting you to kill someone without a board presence if you have 50 life, but or more life I should say. But like I don't know, just try something new, and Balan could just kind of like OTK out of nowhere, especially if you put artifacts out cheaply or with flash and then you just equip them all. Daring Archaeologist, you could do without it, but a little bit of recursion never hurt anyone. I don't really think you need it though. Swordsmith, just tutors. Punisher is really fun. I like having some of the creatures that incentivize you not to just load up on your commander, and also then it becomes pretty linear if everyone knows just kill your commander at any possible chance they have. And then the non-equipment creatures, so Mom, Recruiter, Etch Champion's like kind of perfect, gets pro all colors. Silverblade Paladin gives it and something else double strike. You don't really need Palace Jailer, but, a little bit of card advantage, a little bit of removal. I don't want the deck to just be nothing but combat deck without any ability to interact with the board, because especially in multiplayer. Plus, bringing Monarch to a table, like, people appreciate that. Thalia's Lancers to get something legendary. I don't think I have legendary lands, but there's, like, a couple of creatures and 1 or 2 equipment. Sun Titan because white deck. Oh yeah, there you go. There's legendary Elish Norn. Again, don't really need it, but I don't have much like tons of mass removal, and then if I'm going a little bit wide with extra creatures, it's nice to have. Plus, like, I just feel like it's a marquee commander card, so that's kind of cool to have. Then we have the equipments, excuse me. So Masterwork to copy anything, Shadow Spear. If we're playing Balan, then the lifelink is no longer superfluous to Danitha, so that's cool. Plus, the ability to remove hexproof and indestructible is helpful, especially if you flash this in as a combat trip and equip. Colossus Hammer, we have the ability to flash in equipments with Sigarda's aid, so you just flash in +10/+10 after no blocks. Onaginata is a cheap trampler enabler. Skull Clamp, you don't really need it, but you are a little bit starved for card advantage, especially if your shit's dying, so you want to at least get some recompense. This is a cute little loot that also gives evasion, so I'm just trying it. It's kind of filler. Boots are better than Greaves in this deck, because you don't want to give Shroud, you want Hexproof. Jite, deal with some of the more CEDH creatures. Mask of Memory, a little bit of card advantage. Sword the Anime, Ramp. Greaves, just because you need extra protect effects and haste. Trailblazer Brutes, probably not necessary. A little bit on the lower end of the power spectrum, but still an unblockable, and I packed them in foil, so like, why not at least try it? Plate, Sophie, sort of Light and Shadow, a little bit of recursion, a little bit of life gain. Sort of Body and Mind. This one's not really that necessary, but if I'm playing a commander with double strike, and you could actually like mill someone out, so that's kind of cool. And there's a couple, I think, other ways to get double strike in this deck. Maybe, maybe not. Plus, it's like Invocation, so, or Masterpiece. Sinew and Steel. So this is helpful. At least then you can kill planeswalkers without having to swing at them. And the reason why that's important is all the sort of X or Y need to hit a player and not an opponent. So you can't hit a planeswalker to trigger them. So while you're using Sinew and Steel, you could still trigger all of your other swords by hitting the actual person, you know, drawing from the deck and then popping a planeswalker, plus, you know, tons of artifacts in Commander. Fire Shrieker, if Balan is the commander, which I believe he is, I think I'll just take this out just to make some extra space. And then Sword of Vengeance, like, it never, like, this card never makes any of my lists, and I just read it, and I'm like, this has so much text on it, so I'm just gonna try it. Hammer of Nzan is legendary, plus it's like just fucking perfect, takes out equip costs. Batterskull is Batterskull, it just kind of feels silly not playing it if you have an equipment deck. And then lastly, Argentum Armor. I threw this in here realizing that I don't have any real ways to deal with, outside of actually clicking for damage. You may not be able to click for damage, but if you swing, even Maze of Ith, like, you still register an attack, so helpful. But it may come out, or like Fire Shrieker will come out for the Caldra, like, complete guy, the new, like, equipment. And then supporting cards, we have Land Tax. Make sure you hit your drops. Sigarda's Aid is pretty essential. Enlightened Tutor, Steel Shaper's Gift, Open the Armory. Board the Weatherlight is just kind of for fun. You could find a historic card. I have a couple of planeswalkers as well, a couple of legendary creatures. So on top of your artifacts, of which there are tons, you know, mana ramp, and there's even an artifact land. And then a little bit of removal. We have Swords, Path, Revoke Existence. Like, I think this is a filler card, but, you know, Exile is nice because most of the white-based removal is pop, so it's nice to exile. Grasp of Fate, you know, CEDH playable, so playing it here. Day of Judgment, we have a couple of indestructible effects. Dust to Dawn, there's like a fair amount of weenies in this deck, so better in Danitha because her inherent power is 2, so it won't kill her, and then it'll get her on the back half if you grave her, but it's probably fine. Like, you could just set it up. Return to Dust is good value. I'll probably always run it in mono white. Conclave Tribunal, I'm not really sure that you need this. You probably, I have not Stasis, I have a Grasp of Fate, so I'll probably end up taking it out. Brave the Elements, like, it's mono white, it only protects white creatures. God's Willing, I don't know, I think it's a filler card, but it's only 1 mana, so, and it helps you just swing in for games sometimes. And then a couple of Planeswalkers. Gideon actually swings, so you can load him up, which was kind of cool. The ultimate is useful removal in mono white, and you can also give, if Balan is your commander, having the choice for lifelink or indestructible is particularly helpful, as he has double strike once he's suited up with 2 or more things. Ajani, I think Pride Mate or whatever he's called, the -3 gives flying and double strike, otherwise it gives counters, and the ultimate gives you 2/2 cats, where a 2/2 cat for each point of life you have. So it's a fun ultimate to work towards. Elspeth, she pluses and helps jump and kill people while working towards your ultimate, so that's always helpful, and the ultimate is like hella fucking good. The ultimate also works really well with the last card in the deck, which is just a big hose and a way to steal games from behind, which, you know, I can't not play Mass Land Destruction. So the Italian Armageddon, because all you got to do is suit up a Balan, and then Armageddon, I don't even care if all I have were lands, just like I don't even need mana, especially if I'm just smashing face.